Hey, so we're going to do another quick review using musictheory.net. Here we have a bunch of different note values. If you're just looking at these notes, you see that this right here is a note head. All of these are note heads. This is an open note head, so a whole note has an open note head, half note has an open note head, quarter note, closed note head, it's filled in, eighth note has a closed note head, and 16th note has a closed note head. On half note, we have a stem. There's no stem on a whole note, stem on a quarter note as well, eighth note, 16th note, and then eighth notes have a flag. Sometimes if you see two eighth notes together, then the flag changes to a beam. Sorry, I'm just drawing on a random piece of paper right now. So that'd be two eighth notes, and it's connected with a beam instead of using the flag. And 16th notes also have flags as well. Same thing with the beam. If you have 16th note, then you would have two beams there, just like 16th note has two flags. Just reviewing some of that terminology in case we need to refer to that as we're discussing these. So, actually, let me go back. So note duration is how long the notes are held. So duration just means length, so the amount of time that you would hold out the notes. So whole note has the longest duration. Sometimes you can have something longer than a whole note by tying different notes or things like that. So whole note, think about a whole, and then half note, you basically cut that in half. So if we were in 4/4 time, and a whole note was 4 beats, then you cut it in half. A half note would be 2 beats. Now that's in 4/4 time specifically. If you're in a different time signature, that changes. But I'll keep referring back to 4/4 time since it's the most common time that we've used. So 2 half notes. Like I said, if we were in 4/4 time, this would be, oh, I can't write. This would be 2 beats. This would be 2 beats. This would 2 plus 2 would equal 4. So they occupy the same amount of space. Ooh, I think I have to erase it. I don't think it will erase it for me. I might not do that again. Okay, the quarter note is a fourth or a quarter of a whole note. If you think about quarters like money, there's 4 quarters in a dollar. So whole note, there are 4 quarter notes that can fit into a whole note. You can see that here. 4 quarter notes equal a whole note. You could also say that 2 quarter notes equal a half note. Notes that are smaller have flags, and the flag helps determine the note value, just like we talked about before, how the note head or the beam, those things all help determine the note value. Eighth note has 1 flag. 2 eighth notes occupy the same amount of time as 1 quarter note. So we're just breaking these all in half. If you think about fractions, a quarter note is 1/4, and divide that in half, you would get 1/8. So 2 eighth notes fit into 1 quarter note. 16th note has 2 flags, and basically, like we just said, if you were to take 1 eighth note and divide it by 2, you get the fraction 1/8 divided by 2, you get the fraction 1/16. So 16th note is half of an eighth note, and you can fit 2 16th notes into 1 eighth note. 4 16th notes fit into 1 quarter note, because if I were to divide math here, sorry guys, 1/4 by 4, I would get 1/16. It is possible to have more than 2 flags, but it's not something that you see very often. So if this is this is an eighth note, this is a 16th note, divide 1/16 by 2, you would get 1/32. So this is a 32nd note, 64th note, and so forth. This is a really good chart here that kind of shows you the layout of all the note values. If we were in 4/4 time, this would be 4 beats, 2 beats, 1 beat, half a beat, and a quarter of a beat. And we're about to run out of time, so time to stop this video.